Greetings. You know what I'm tired of lately? I'm tired of hearing people say, that's not who I am. The reason they're saying that, and I hate to call it out for what it is, but it's mainly been white people. Lately, there's been a rash of people who are calling the police on minorities, mainly black people, but minorities in general, it turns out, for some of the stupidest stuff you could think of. Walking around neighborhoods, barbecuing, standing in a door because it's raining, trying not to get wet. On and on, this stuff is happening. Last week, we had a guy who had his business on the side of his van chase a guy home so he could call him all kind of names because he said the guy cut him off. And the guy was filming it. And he said, you think you're privileged because you're black and you can do anything you want to. Although he didn't use black, he used the other word. And then when they first went to him, he said he had nothing to apologize for. He didn't care until he started losing his government contracts. And then he apologized and he said, this isn't indicative of who I am. You know, the reality is, if you've got those tendencies, if you say stuff, that's exactly who you are. It just is. Years ago, a comedian said something online or during one of his acts. And what he basically said was, if you drink or you take a drug and you start acting a certain way afterwards, that's exactly who you are. The drug and the alcohol just intensifies who you are. And I tend to believe that. I think that for the most part, some people have these things inside them and maybe they're able to kind of hide it from the rest of the world most of the time. But when they really get agitated, they're going to let that out and they're going to say all kind of stuff and then later on say that's not who I am. And it is. You know, I'm going to tell you the truth. I have never said a cuss word. I've never said a cuss word. And I've hurt myself quite a bit. And I've been angry enough to want to, but I've never done it. Why? Because that's who I am. I'm just a guy who doesn't do that. Never had a drink, never taken a drug. I have never uttered a racial slur at anybody. I don't even know if there are racial slurs for white people, to tell you the truth. And when I was a kid, because I traveled around being a military kid, I used to hear racial slurs all the time. Never uttered any of them. I did utter one when I was in high school here in New York when I first got here because I hadn't thought about it as a racial slur because everyone in that school used that term. And so it probably took me a few months before I realized, hey, wait a minute, I think I know what that's supposed to mean. And I asked my dad and dad told me, yes, that's exactly what that is. And I never said it again because I just didn't know. I think sometimes kids don't know, but adults definitely know. And in today's world, because that was back in the 70s, we didn't have internet. A lot of things you heard or said were things that were all over TV, which you don't hear any of that anymore on TV. You may hear in movies. But today's world, everybody knows what a racial slur is. And if you're using it or you're doing something stupid, that's exactly who you are. You might as well just own up to that. And this is one of those kind of things where I can relate that to leadership as well. You know if you're a good leader or a bad leader. You just do. You may not know if you're a great leader, or you may not know that people aren't respecting you because you're being too nice all the time and you're making friends and you're not really leading. But if the results aren't giving you what you need, you know what? You're a bad leader. If the results are getting you what you need, you're a good leader. And you know what? That's indicative of who you are. It may not be as indicative of what kind of person you are when it's got to related to leadership, but it's definitely indicative of the kind of leadership or leader you are or are not. That's my take on it. Let me know your thoughts. Do you believe that people can, in the heat of the moment, say some nasty stuff to other people and have that not really be them? And do you believe that most people really don't have a clue that they're a bad leader or a good leader? Let me know your thoughts. My name is Mitch Mitchell. I hope you have a wonderful day.